Get a bird to walk in the hole of the centerfold that you fold and then put you in the bathroom stall before the dean know what's told. I'm not here before the raw. It's sitting behind the flaws with the white background before we talk the camera laws.
Okay, so welcome to this week's episode of What Do You Know?
What do you know about it?
What do you know about it? Nothing. We don't know anything about it either. That's why we're here with our guest today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Taiyamo Denku, hip hop artist, self tour booking artist, studio engineer, all that.
Which is awesome. You've been doing this for a really long time.
From
right?
here.
From Milwaukee.
Yes.
I've been rhyming about 30 years, doing music professionally, probably about a little over 23, 24, something like that.
That's what I thought. It's been a really long time. Like, I've been connected to you for a really long time, and I've seen a lot of like your self-promotion and a lot of your shows and a lot of the things that you do. So I thought it would be really interesting to talk to you and kind of mix our worlds together. So we just wanted to bring like a bunch of different people from Milwaukee or outside of Milwaukee who have really cool things going on and have a lot to say about what it's like being in the industry, their industry, our industry, how the industries mix, and what that feels like and what that's like. How does that equate to like what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of work. And nowadays it seems like the hip hop scene's very oversaturated. Everyone's a rapper now.
Oh yeah.
But it's but nobody wants to work really. So it's kind of from my experience, you could separate the two. My work ethic is crazy. I'm going on my 20th tour in like less than a month now. All self-booked, do it all myself. But I've noticed and I've had conversations with multiple artists that have basically said they just expect it to happen for them.
Right.
Without any
Work.
Right.
And I mean, I've been doing this at a high level for years. It's not my full-time job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wish it was. I wish it was that easy.
I think like even switching from what you said to what I do, it's the same thing. People expect to buy a camera and they're like, why is this thing not working? How you're shooting it? Like, what's going on here? And I'm like, well, you got to invest in yourself. You need to figure out how to do this. You got to go get your lighting. You got to go get a mentor. Get somebody who's better than you, who knows what you're doing, and then work from there, because there is no way. I mean, there's people do it, and I'm sure people do this with hip hop too, where they just are like, I'm just going to get the mic and I'm just going to start saying whatever I want. It's going to sound whatever. Same thing translates over into what I do. I'm just going to get this and I'm just going to shoot whatever and hire me for $500. If I hire you, you need to build a portfolio, my friend. I think with what you do, how do you feel about a lot of like the younger people who are coming into the scene and like their lyricism and the way they interpret hip hop and what you do? Because I know people our age look at it much differently. That lyricism is almost like poetry. It's almost like it's life stories. This is life stories that we're telling here. This is like an encyclopedia of words that are coming out, whereas you have these new people who are coming out, and sometimes I don't even know what you're saying. I'm not sure you do either.
So to go back to your thing about people needing a mentor, I believe that is a thing, but the younger generation doesn't care about that. They, I mean, I've mentored people and it's equaled, I've showed people the ropes of things and it's equaled to them doing nothing with what I've given them. I've showed people the tour grind, people that I believed in that were good, that I thought were pretty good, showed them the grind, did nothing with it. That goes back to the work ethic. If you don't really, like you said, invest in yourself or put forth the effort in actually doing it, you're not going to get anywhere in this because everyone is a rapper. The problem, I think, is they don't uh, look at the legacy of the hip hop as far as it does. They don't really show the shine or respect on the originators, and that's um, unfortunate. You could show somebody something from back in the day, and they have no idea what it is. They're like, "What is this? This is how it used to sound. Why is this not this?" And the problem is labels. It's just a money grab for them. There's a 360 deals as far as record labels go. That's why record labels are not needed anymore because everyone can do it themselves. But record labels that do sign artists, mostly all they're doing now is these 360 deals, which is if anyone signs that, you're kind of done because you won't make any money until until you recoup the money that you owe the label there. Because I don't know if people are familiar with 360 deals, but what it is they give you a lump sum of money up front. You think you made it because they're giving you all this money. It's not you don't recoup your money based off the first $1 million you make in the music. You recoup your money based off your royalty rate that they give you. Yeah. So if you get a 5%, because labels don't want to give you nothing. Right. So if you get like a 5% royalty rate, you're looking at you got to make maybe 10 million, $20 million to recoup the money that they gave you before you make any money. Yeah. So that's a problem with the young generation. They don't know the difference between that. As far as lyricism goes, I don't know where they're learning that they're doing. I have no idea because I don't focus on that. I don't listen to that type of stuff. I respect that there's all types of genres of hip hop. It's breaking up, kind of like rock is broken up into different things. I respect it, and it's cool. If you know, but it's not for me. Yeah. And I don't know if I should be the person. I have been. I used to be a very angry, mad rapper for like many years because of how trash, in my mind, how trash I feel artists are. Because I grew up in the battle era, so where you have to battle to basically show your skill set to see if you're better than the next person. Now, I mean, even battles aren't like improv; they're all pre-written, and it's a whole different game now.
It's not the same.
The fact that I'm still hungry and the grind for it is because I love it.
On the note of like making things that are quality and like anyone can be an artist now, like I think about things like, and not to dog on it, but things like Canva, like templates for making like designs and stuff like that. Like anybody can do it now, but it doesn't mean that you're doing it well. It doesn't mean that you know what you're doing. It doesn't mean that if you're asked to do a very specific thing that you're gonna know how to do it in the way that you should. I think it's great to like have tools where anyone can express themselves, but there comes a certain point where like you're not equipped for what you're doing at all, and you don't understand what you're doing. You're just putting things on a slide. You're just putting things on a computer screen. Right. And that happens a lot with people. A lot of the time graphic design tends to be like a fallback for people because you can't be a painter, you can't be like an illustrator because it won't make you money or something like that. So a lot of people like don't take the time to fully understand the tools that they're working with because they're salty that they can't figure it out right away. So like there's a lot to be said about like quality and like learning and like figuring out what people have done before and drawing inspiration from it and like making things that are very quality things, because like you can do things quick with Canva. A lot of the time if I'm being lazy I just pop something in there, but like that's when I'm being lazy. Like if you want to be creative and like actually do something that original? Is substance, full of substance and original, like learn how to do it.
Yeah, learn how to do it. Learn how to do it properly. So I wanted to talk about like your influences. Who are your influences, since we've been on the subject of like old school and new school? Like what's your jam?
I mean, Chino XL was a big inspiration to me. He passed away recently. We were actually in the works of doing another song. We have like 4 songs together, but we were talking about doing another one for this album that Fragile Star of Onyx produced the whole album for me. He was going to be on that. Luckily, I have a voice recording of him talking about how he would love to be on a Fredro beat, and Razkaz. This is the first time I'm talking about this publicly, but Razkaz did a verse for me for the album, and I have a clip of him because he would always send voice notes to me and shit. So I have a clip of him that I'm going to use as a voice note because the end of Razkaz's verse, it's like he's talking on the phone. So there's like a dial tone, stuff like that, and him calling a number, and I'm going to put the Chino XL clip at the end just to have him, because he was supposed to be on that song.
Right, that's a tribute.
All that early grimy stuff. And it's still out. People are like, oh, that stuff doesn't exist, but it does. It's just you have to search for it. It's not like we touched on, hip hop's oversaturated. Everyone's a rapper. There's all these things. All that grimy that sounds old school. It's still there, but it's not in the forefront of what's popular.
It's cool to always do something new, but it's really important that you understand how things function before you break rules of something. Like, if you're gonna like paint something, you have to know the rules of painting and what makes a quality good painting before you break the rules and pop out of it. And I think that's a lot of what's missing in those areas of like having the substance of like what was. You can't really like make something new without a frame of reference.
Well, like, excuse my French, but it's like if you're in a really like worn down part of, like, let's say Gary, Indiana, which a lot of people are afraid of, and I love it there. It's like a playground, it's like a jungle, and you see all these amazing works of art on the wall, right? And you're like, mad respect to this person, and actually you start noticing their art in different places. Like, I know that person on this, like, I seen this train and it's the same artist, and you start seeing it in different places, and it's like, it's awesome. But it's the difference between somebody who can do that and somebody who puts a dick on a wall.
Yeah, you're right. You're very right.
It's the same. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? There are people out here, like, I know people who are so good at what they do, and like, if you were to just take a second, you ain't even gotta ask them. Just look at what they're doing. To, like, focus on your goals and chase what you're doing. Write every day. Look up new words every day. For me, I'm looking at different artists. I don't want to just stay in this little circle of like people that I know, right? Even though you're talented and you're great and I love you, I want to look at people who are outside of that. So I'm looking at artists that are in different countries, artists that do different kinds of art. I want to learn from you what's going on in your world, and I want to talk to you and see how you click, or watch interviews with you, or watch like your YouTube channel and like listen to you talk, just because I want to know what's going on in your head. Because I think a lot of art comes from the brain. Even what I do, most of my work is like, oh, I just had this thought and it's really ridiculous, and I'm gonna go do it. Like, I just shot with that huge spider, and I was like, I think I'm gonna order a spider in the mail and glue it to my face, and I'm gonna make this thing, and then I did it. And people are like, what's wrong with you? And I'm still not sure, but like, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things that you got to be yourself, but you got to have inspiration all over the place, and you got to have respect for what's going on and what people know and what people do, which is like one of the main reasons that I asked you to come here, because I definitely respect you and I respect all of the stuff you do. I watch what you do. I see that you're self-promoting. I see how hard you work. And like, I've heard you, and I think it's good. It's amazing. And it's just been going and going and going for so long. But another thing I wanted to talk about, because I think I relate to you on this, and probably a lot of different artists, is the beefing. Let's talk about the beefing.
Let's talk about the beefing.
Let's talk about it. I don't know about for you, but in the model photography world, there's like an unsaid beef. People are so scandalous. Like, if somebody doesn't like you, they will try to cancel you from within. Like, oh, this person. I'll tell you right now. I got hired to shoot this shoot, right? I got paid. That's what I do. I'm a photographer. So I shot these people at a gym. I did it, and I delivered the photos, and then people were trying to cancel me. Like, don't you know this person has a past? This person's done this and this bad thing and this bad thing, and you shot them? I don't know a dang thing about that person. I know I got paid to do this shoot, and I'm not sure what you're talking about. But I think a lot of that is like people undercutting other people, maybe not even because they care about those things, but because there's a lot of jealousy and trying to rise to the top of hire me, or I am the best artist, or I am look at me, look at me. There's a lot of look at me going on. And if you're looking at this person, you're not looking at me, and I don't like how much this person's rising. So I'm gonna start saying this, that, and this in other people's ears so that people don't respect this person as much. And I assume that the same thing happens with what you do.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like that. I mean, yeah, cancel culture is a real thing too now. Didn't used to be like that. Used to be able to openly say whatever you wanted to say in music, and now, I mean, I personally don't care. Like, I don't care at all. I'm like, you're not gonna stop me from doing what I'm doing. But yeah, like I've recent in the past 3 years, I've done, and I mean, I'm grown, I'm old, man. Like, so, but I shouldn't even have to be doing this.
I think that all the time.
I still like, past 3 years, I had to do 2 diss tracks. People just can't stop putting my name in their mouth. One dude mentioned my daughter in the track. So I just had to blaze dude. I had to blaze that dude. And then there was this dude in the UK that's on his little social media rant. He thinks I don't see it, but people tell me.
That's how it always goes.
So
Yeah.
he had to get blazed. I mean, I'm not. Yeah. But I've been involved in beef since early on too, you know what I mean? Like,
You gotta blaze them.
it's always been a thing. I actually can remember, like, a lot of Milwaukee doesn't mess with me no more, and it's probably, like you had mentioned, the jealousy thing. But or like Pete, like, there was a girl one time that told me straight up, she's a photographer actually, and she used to do photo shoots for me at one point in time, and then she was like, you know, you're real conceited. I said, no, I'm not really at all. Like, I've helped a lot of people. People are like, you need to humble yourself. And I'm like, I feel blessed for things that I've gotten to do. I just don't understand why people think it's a non-cool thing to shout out your accolades.
Yeah.
Like, why is that not cool?
Yeah, it always makes me think of that Snoop Dogg speech. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where he's up there and he has the awards, and they're like, he's about to say who he's thankful for, and he pauses for a minute, and he's like, I'd like to thank me for working so hard. I'd like to thank me for nonstop grinding. Me, like, he goes on this, it's like a 5-10 minute speech about himself, and he's grateful for him. And at that moment, I was like, that is a win, because people do not understand how hard it is and how much work it is and how much you're doing. Like, even in my business, people will become outraged. Like, you charging how much? It's $100. Yeah. That is nothing. So much work editing this, getting it right, making sure you like it, taking the photos, making sure the session is good. This, that, and the other, advertising, constantly going, answering messages at 4 a.m. Just go, understanding other people's problems. And there's drama. There's drama in these worlds. And so people got problems with this person and that person, and they want you to listen to it, and they want you to cancel that person. Not my job, not canceling that person.
People are disrespectful in art space because there's no way you can really understand any one individual person and what they do. Like,
so real quick, let me touch, so I went to college for graphic design.
Oh, word.
When I was in graphic design back in the day, I started graphic design classes. Halfway through getting my degree, they're like, you guys can step back if you want to, but just so you know, at this point in time, there's not really going to be any jobs when you get out of college.
Bye.
I'm like, so why am I doing this? Like, what's the point of this?
Yeah.
So graphic design, for like, I don't do anything.
Right.
Like, I know how to do graphic design things because I went to college for it.
Right.
But as far as what I like, my field, my job outside of music, I don't practice it at all.
Yeah, it's
You know what I'm saying?
cutthroat. Like it's not only cutthroat to like get employed or like be put on a project, but it's cutthroat like between the people that you work with and between like what people are asking you to do. Like the entire thing is like pretty vicious, but like the scary thing about that being the reality is that a lot of people pick graphic design because like again, like they can't be a painter, they can't be an illustrator, and graphic design is like the a lot of the time it's like the only way that they can practice art and still get paid for it. So like it being such like a vicious space right now is like really sad, especially with like the rise of things like Canva and AI, because it's not like I don't respect any of it. Like I have respect for that kind of stuff when it's used properly, but I don't know. It makes it harder because if you can just hire someone for $10 to use Canva, then why do you need
Then why do you need you? Right.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have so is it the same I mean, you're still in school, but do you think on the outside looking in and being younger, do you think it's the same as when I got out of school? I applied for all these jobs in graphic design, advertising, all this stuff. Um, and every job interview or place that I went to instantly required 10 to 15 years experience.
Yes.
And I'm like, how am I even supposed to
Yeah.
jump into this field? That's why I didn't even like once I got a regular job, even though it's like what I do,
Right.
but even when I got a regular thing, I just stopped looking.
Yeah.
I just stepped away and I was like, I'm
It's
done with it.
horrible because like okay, so because my mom has a business, I get to put her on my resume and like all the things that I've done with her. And even then, I get like emails or like, whatever however employers contact that are like you are our top pick, like this is great. Your resume is so good. And then I don't get contacted ever again. And it's like, okay, what is the goal here then? Did we find out how to use Canva? Is that what happened?
Well, for people who don't have like moms or like families that own businesses, I would imagine that would be extremely difficult because you don't have that experience. Yeah. Nobody can hire you because you don't have that experience. Right. So what are you supposed to volunteer your time? And then how are you supposed to live? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't really make any sense. I had a similar experience to you when I was in college going for human services and social work where they were like, just so you know, everybody in this room, you're not going to make $1 doing this. Just so you know, you're going to be poor. You're going to be helping people who are the worst of the worst. You're going to be whatever. And I was thinking in my head, like, yeah, in my head, I was thinking, like, who's the worst of the worst, first of all? And
yeah.
Like,
hello.
I like to help people. Like, I'm the type of person that if there's, like, a homeless person sitting on the side of the street, I'm not just going to go give you $1. I'm going to sit down and be like, what is up, dude? Why are you out here? What's going on? Like, are you hungry? You want a sandwich? You want a coffee? You want something? Can I help you with something? Like, you got a story you want to tell me? You just bored? You want to talk to me for a minute? Like, that's the kind of person that I am. So when I kept going, I just like was staring at this teacher like, why are you telling people to stop doing this?
I have a professor that is very straight up about how horrible the job market in general, but also like within the arts and design, how no one really has respect because they don't know what it is and all that kind of stuff. And what she says a lot is that you are going to really struggle to find work, but you can do it if you're like hard on the grind. Like you can do it. There's no reason that you should not pursue what you want to pursue because you're afraid of not getting a job, because why would you want to be miserable? Like you can always pick up something else. You can always do another project, but like,
to be honest, I think we would all be a lot less miserable if I was just full-time doing art. Yeah. He was full-time doing hip-hop, and you were full-time doing whatever you wanted to independently, and we didn't have to do all these extra jobs, because it's not like I don't like helping people, or I don't like helping people who are addicted or suicidal or stuff. Like, I like helping people, but the burnout for that is real, and so it takes time away from, like, the art that I'm doing. And for a lot of artists, people are like, oh my gosh, like, is this worth it? I'm so tired. I'm so burnt out by the time I get to actually do what I love. I just sometimes be sitting there in a room like, time's up. I'm going to bed. Yeah.
Yeah. A majority of the people in the art world, in the creative world, they literally focus on people that have already made it. And they're like, they already made it.
Right.
They don't know anything that goes behind them actually making it or what it took for that. I mean, you hear the random stories of right place, right time. Sure, that has happened to people. But majority of the people that have made something really happen for them, it's not just because they didn't put any work in it. And but these people look at them because a lot of people aren't supposed to be artists.
True.
Let's be real. A lot of people shouldn't be artists. A lot of people shouldn't be rappers. A lot of people shouldn't do a lot because they don't have knowledge or their brain doesn't work that way. The creative world is a different world.
Look at it like this. Like, if I was to go somewhere, this has happened not that long ago. It was like super windy day, and there was like this paper bag that was just blowing around, and part of it was getting wet, and part of it was going down the sewer, and then the other part was blowing up, and it was doing this cool thing. And I was like, look at how cool that is. And the person that I was with at the time was like, that's garbage. Yeah. And I was like, that's garbage. Yeah. How could you say that's garbage? That's not garbage. That's art. And like right there in my brain was like, man, do other people think like this? Because I could be driving down the road and be like, oh my goodness, look at this, or I could do this, or I look at like flashes, almost like these flashes all day long of like, I could do this, I could create here. Look at that building. That's weird. I wonder if I could scale that. I wonder if I could get myself to go upside down on that building if I stood in the right way, or if I lit this way, or if I did this way. And always trying to do something more extreme or something more like, well, I've pushed myself, but have I pushed myself hard enough? Or here's a story of heartbreak, which happens a lot in like lyricism. My heart is broken. I am hurt. What am I going to do about that? I'm going to create. I'm going to go do something, and it's going to be deep. And then other people feel it in all of these different ways that pertains to them, you know, which is good. That's what art is supposed to do. That's what music does. I listen to music most times that I'm creating, and that inspires me deeply.
I was just talking to someone, a designer, and she was talking about she thought she was going to get married to this dude that she was dating for like forever, and she realized it was coming to an end when she went to an art museum with him, and she was talking to him about like, I don't know, just everything, and being like, don't you just love the way that this moves, like the way that this feels, like isn't this just like incredible to like look at, like there's so much in this. And he's like, okay, like sure, I don't know, like I can't understand how you could ever feel something like that. Like that's so cool. And even like, okay, this is like a controversial thing to say, but like, and I have multiple opinions on it. Okay, so hear me out the whole way when I say it. So you know how sometimes you see like a big blue canvas in an art museum and you're like, that's so stupid. Yeah. Okay, but there's one that the reason it's a huge canvas painted all solid blue. The reason that it was so cool is because that pigment was so rare, and this dude like did a ton of it and got it to be super solid on this huge canvas. It wasn't like even just like a little bit of it. It was more of like about like his creative process and like learning how to make this pigment and make it strong when not a lot of people could do it. And so he not only painted it on this canvas and was like, look, I made it. He did it on this huge freaking one that was just like monumental. And so like I feel like that's how a lot of people view like art and music in general. Like they see like the outcome and they're like, that's stupid.
That's not, yeah, I could do that.
But like they don't see like the creative process behind it and like what a feat it is a lot of the time.
I did an interview once with a magazine with a partner that I had a while ago. We're leaving that. We're leaving it. No, what partner? Anyway,
sometimes you gotta blaze them.
I had a partner, and they asked this question, and they said, what inspires you to do what you do? Like, what you do is like really cool. It's really unique. What inspires you? And their response was, I'm not really inspired by anything. I just do it. I was like, and so like they panned over to me and they're like, you know, what inspires you? And I'm like, what doesn't? Right. That crushed Coke bottle over there, that person talking to that person over there, I have no idea what they're talking about, but it looks, I could see their mouths moving and their eyes are connecting, and it's like really cool to watch. It's raining outside right now, and I like the way that it's falling sideways instead of just falling down. I kind of dig that. That car, its lights are off. One of the lights are out. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cinematic if you think about it. If we changed the color to blue and turned the hue down, it would look really cool, wouldn't it? Like, different things like this inspire me. People inspire me. Places inspire me. Stories inspire me. Struggle inspires me. And so that's why I feel like it's so difficult to deal with people who are just so black and white and gray, who are like, how can you be friends with, I get this all the time too. How can you be friends with ex-gangbangers? How could you be friends with people who have been to prison? How could you be friends with people who have done this, that, and the other, and you're a social worker, but you're also this and that and the other? And like, I got friends who are doctors, I have friends who are lawyers, and I have friends who have spent massive time in prison. And I love each and every one of them so much. You know why? Because they bring a different perspective into my life, and it makes my life better, and it makes my perspective better, and it opens my eyes, and I understand things better, and that makes my art better, and it makes me better as a person, and it gives me more knowledge. So I feel like when you start getting to the point of where you're shutting things out, like that's a big blue canvas that looks like my 5-year-old could paint it. 5-year-old can't paint that.
Yeah. This is not Crayola time. There's this type designer, and I think he really, everything that we're saying very, very well. He's talking about how he has all the skills. He's been in it for a long time. He knows exactly how to do what he wants to do, and he works like in collaboration a lot because that's how he views typography. He works with like typefaces and fonts and stuff. But he's talking about how, firstly, just because somebody can cook does not mean they should open a restaurant. Sometimes your role, because I think that anybody can be creative, sometimes your role is not to be like up here though. Sometimes your role is to be down here. And like a lot of people, like I think a lot of people have the potential to be up here, but like not everyone needs to open a restaurant if you can cook. But the other thing he was talking about was how much he values intergenerational working, because people that are older and more experienced tend to have a developed style, tend to have a lot of knowledge on how technical things work, and just it brings a lot of value to the conversation. But then younger generations bring a lot of value in the things that are current, the things that are working right now, and like new and fresh ideas that you wouldn't think of because it's so new and it's outlandish. And so when you bring all these kinds of people together, you come up with something that works because it's grounded, but is also new and fresh and unique. And it's not like you need to work with, you know, all these different people all the time. But I think that's something that's really valuable to this specific conversation that we're having when we're talking about working with like old people, new people, people that don't understand art, people that do. Like that's like something super valuable, is to like have all of these different people and perspectives and understandings of different things, because it's not like one person's perspective or, you know, art is not valuable, but it's so much more valuable when you can do something like that.
It's true. It's true. You do need a lot of different perspectives on things that are current, especially if you do in business or you're an entrepreneur.
Sure, yeah.
Like that's really important. Can I put you on the spot? Will you do something for us?
What's up?
Will you give us some verses?
How about we do this? How about, can you gather items, place them by you, and hold them up? Our freestyle about the items.
Yo, oh my gosh, yo. I love it here. Oh, you're done. Okay, we got the trap house.
All right.
Yeah, we got this lovely hat.
All right.
Oh yeah, and we got Smokin' Jack's Texas barbecue sauce, smoked meat sauce.
All right. So as we do this, just hold them up, random
gosh,
orders,
bro.
whatever you got. Whatever you got.
Bro.
All right. So all right, let's start it.
Okay. You do one, I do one, you do one. Yeah.
In the studio visual, holding on to a statement that doesn't have to be cuticle to the fingernail arrangement, I feel like I'm lost. But I don't trap myself in a house that's made pink underneath a different gloss to whip you half of the spouse. It's just an average person relationship. You don't even have to take the sauce out of the barbecue before you act smoking with opportunity that slices through your scotch. You not taped. I put the hat on before I'm off. I feel great. Beat you with a tennis ball to recreate the racket and tell people I'm half as drastic before they rip the passion out of the chest plate. Dump the meat sauce on top of your whole face and walk the warm embrace. Get a bird to walk in the hole of the centerfold that you fold, and then put you in the bathroom stall before the dean know what's told. I'm not here before the raw. It's sitting behind the flaws with the white background before we talk the camera laws that you've been whipped and changed for years. I got words that put the hat and gown on before I shed some tears. I will take the ball, throw it into the hole that came from over on that wall before you ever had the life to use your own protocol. I feel like I could be a scarecrow in a room, but I'm not really made of straw. So what are we doing?
Hey! That was awesome.
Are we gonna release that new EP? What do you know about it, Studios?
The thing's coming. If you follow me on all the socials, it's at Taiyamo Denku. Everywhere. If you can't spell it, it's TAIYAMODENKU. On all platforms, same. They tell you you're supposed to do that, so maybe you should do that.
You should do that, smash that.
I also have a podcast.
Yeah.
If you want to check it out, it is called the Cypher Den Chat.
Yeah.
We record every week, mostly for the most part. We have different guests. We talk to different people as well. Fun thing for creatives out there that like that.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to have you on at some point.
We would love to come.
Would be nice. So yeah, there we are.
Anyway, what do you know about it?
What do you know about it? Nothing.
What do
Tune
you
back
know
in next
about
time.
it? See you next time.
Thanks for listening off.